The enemy isn't making it easy for you, so don't make it easy for the enemy. Hey, I'm Jessica, and in this word, I want to tell you just what I just said. The enemy isn't making it easy for you, so don't make it easy for the enemy. One thing I always say now is that I never go down again for laziness, because I used to be so lazy. I stayed down and I stayed in a low place so long because of laziness, because of not diligently obeying God, pretty much making it easy for the enemy to have control over my life in different ways. So I just don't play about that now. Right where I am now, I ain't making it easy for the enemy to come for me. I ain't making it easy for him to have any place in my life, because no laziness, because of anything. I go hard with obeying God. And I'm just encouraging you to be that same way. Don't make it easy for the enemy. I think about how a little over a year ago, I ended up in a homeless shelter. And in that homeless shelter, I was in a very just confined, restricted place. I felt like I was in a prison living in that homeless shelter. And because of that, I fell into disobedience when it came to obeying different commandments that God had commanded me to follow. One thing that I do, for example, is I write books. And I write books that God has given me to write. Well, when I was in that homeless shelter, I stopped writing because I just felt like I couldn't write like I needed to. I wasn't able to charge my phone up at that homeless shelter like how I needed to. And my phone was what I used to write my books. And I felt like I was okay with not writing during that time because I just couldn't do it, right? I furthermore felt like God was okay with me not writing during this time because I just couldn't do it. At least I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like, okay, well, God know I'm not able to charge my phone up here like how I'm supposed to. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do that. So I'm just not going to write like that. So in other words, I felt like I was okay with being disobedient to God's commandment to be fruitful and to multiply, because that's something that God wants us to do. He demands us to be fruitful and multiply with the gifts that he's given us. So I pretty much was disobedient with being fruitful and multiplying with that gift that he gave me as a writer. And I actually fell into disobedience in other different ways. It was other different things that God had commanded me to do, that I knew he commanded me to do, that I stopped doing once I got into that homeless shelter, because my excuse was I just can't do it. It's just too hard. I can't even do day-to-day things like how I'm supposed to in this homeless shelter. So I definitely can't do these different things that God told me to do while I'm in here. And that kept me in nothing but a low place. That furthermore kept me in nothing but the enemy's will. It was nothing but the enemy that wanted me there in that homeless shelter. And he was able to keep me there because of that attitude that I had. So I'm out here to encourage somebody. Don't make it easy for the enemy, because he ain't making it easy for you. He didn't make it easy for me in that homeless shelter whatsoever. And I didn't do nothing but enable him to not make it easy for me by falling into disobedience because of excuses. And I definitely want to say this. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care how low of a place you may ever find yourself in. I don't care what opposition you're facing. I don't care. Never use any of that as an excuse to not obey God. Never use any of that as an excuse to stop doing different things that you know you need to be doing, and especially that you know God told you to do. Never stop being diligent for God. So to make a long story short, I stopped making it easy for the enemy. I stopped giving God excuses when I was in that homeless shelter. I put my foot down and I said, you know what, God, I'm going to be diligent. I'm going to start writing like how I'm supposed to. I'm going to stop making excuses to not write like how I'm supposed to. I'm going to stop making excuses to not do other different things that I know you told me to do as I'm in here. And I'm going to go hard doing it all like how I'm supposed to, regardless of me being in this homeless shelter. I'm not going to continue to make it easy for the enemy to have reign in my life, to have control over my life because of my excuses, because of me allowing my circumstances to keep me from obeying you diligently. So what I started doing was I started walking to the library on a daily basis. The library was a 40-minute walk from the homeless shelter. And I would walk 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. Sometimes I would walk there and back more than once. And I went there to write, because at the library you can charge your phone. So I would just be there all day writing. didn't have no job, didn't have no money to pay for no bus. So I couldn't catch the bus to the library. I mean, I had a little money that a couple of family members would send me every now and then, but that was usually money to help pay my cell phone bill. And the little money that I would have left over, it would probably be like no more than $20-$30. And I would have to use that on like necessities and stuff. So I really just didn't have money left over to catch the bus like that. So I just chose to make no excuses, and I just started walking. I started walking to the library every day, sometimes, like I said, more than once, there and back. And that was because I would leave the library sometimes to go back to the homeless shelter to get something to eat. Like they would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that was my only way to eat, was the food that they had. And when I say I was so tired from all of that walking, I was so tired, I would be exhausted sometimes. But I just was determined to not make any excuses. I said, I'm going to obey God. I'm going to write my books like how I'm supposed to. So sometimes you got to be like that. You got to get to the point where you say, you know what, God, I'm not going to make no excuses. I'm going to do what you told me to do. I'm going to diligently obey you. I'm not going to make this easy for the enemy. I'm not going to make it easy for the enemy to just come in and have control over my life. I'm going to obey you. And I know you're going to bless me for obeying you. And to make a long story short, God ended up responding to me diligently obeying like that. And he blessed me with a place to stay. He blessed me with a nice, peaceful place to stay too. And he blessed me with that place fast. It didn't take him no time to bless me with this place. And not only that, but he blessed me with a job. He blessed me with a nice paying job. And ever since then, he been blessing me left and right. He been blessing me like never before. You know why? Because I'm still in that place where I'm not making excuses. I'm diligently obeying God like never before, because I don't never want to be in a low place. I don't never want to make it easy for the enemy to have any control in my life. I don't never want to make it easy for the enemy to be able to come for me and have any type of reign in my life ever again. And the way I don't make it easy for him is just diligently obeying God in every way possible, whether it's in spiritual things like praying, whether it's, fasting when I do fast, worshiping God, walking in love with people, because, that's something that God has commanded me to do over and over. I used to have a problem with walking in love with people, but now I don't play when it comes to walking in love with people. I ain't making it easy for the enemy to come in through me not walking in love with people. You know what I'm saying? I strive to be so diligent now. It's like whatever God tell me to do, I just try to go big doing it. One thing that God instructed me to do, for example, was to clean up consistently, because, God, he likes things done decently and in order. He would tell the children of Israel when he instructed them to build the tabernacle, he would make sure that they kept things organized and clean in the tabernacle. So we serve a clean God. So one thing that I strive to do is just keep it very clean where I stay at. Like almost every time I go in the bathroom, I'm taking some cleaner in there and I'm cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? I just make that a habit. And that's out of me obeying that instruction from God to clean up. And that's also out of me not making it easy for the enemy to come in and have any place in my life, because the enemy, he loves to come for me. He will come for me over anything. I don't care what it is. It be the most ridiculous stuff. So I'm just like petty when it comes to my obedience at this point. It's just like, okay, the enemy ain't making it easy for me. He always trying to come for me over something. So I'm not going to make it easy for him. Like if I don't clean up like how I'm supposed to, the enemy going to come in some type of way. That's how it is when it comes to different things that God tells me to do. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, even in like natural ways, because God, he don't just care about the spiritual. He don't care about you just praying and fasting and worshiping and stuff. He cares about you having it in order in the natural as well. So he wants us to be clean people. He wants us to have balance in different ways. He wants us to have knowledge about different things outside of the Bible and outside of the spiritual and outside of church and whatnot. So for me, I take those different things that he's commanded me to do in the natural so seriously, to the point where I go hard doing them too. And that's definitely out of not making it easy for the enemy to come for me, because like I said, the enemy will come for me for anything. Whatever, he always trying to find a way to get in, and I do not make it easy for him. One thing he's instructing me to do too now is keeping myself up, getting my appearance up again, because like I said, I was in a homeless shelter just like a year ago, and when I was in that homeless shelter, I was walking around looking like a vagabond, and now I'm in a place where God is blessing me to start getting my appearance back together. And guess what? I'm going hard doing it because God told me to do it, and I ain't finna let the enemy in through not going hard with keeping my appearance up. So that's what I wanted to get on here and encourage and motivate somebody else to do. I wanted to get on here and tell you to just go hard with diligently obeying God in different ways. And that's how you don't make it easy for the enemy to come for you. Don't be lazy. Don't be passive. If God tells you to do it diligently. And that's how you don't make it easy for the enemy. With that being said, I pray this word bless you. Once again, the enemy ain't making it easy for you, so don't make it easy for him. You be blessed.